every time. Remember that. I welcome you all to the Genghis Leonard Show, and I'm your host, Genghis Leonard. And today, we're going to be doing something much more exciting and interesting. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how you can make yourself the Fortnite Drifter mask. That's right, I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, and it's going to be fully out of cardboard like my recent products here. So, if you haven't seen the last series, we made a custom medieval gauntlet that fits your fingers and such. Here and here and here. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on my channel, and you can learn how to make this for yourself. Raw. So anyway, putting these aside, these are just products that I've made before for those of you who are new to the stream. And that's Jackal. He stays there. But anyway, so we can get right down to the nitty-gritty here. We'll start with the first step. Well, hello there. The Lao Hot 2000. Wait, Trio Lu Hot 2018. I'm glad to see you here on the show. How nice of you to invite me to watch Vietnamese girls beautiful and cute. Well, I thank you for the invitation, but I'm pretty occupied myself, thank you. But still, enjoy the show. Alright, so what you're going to do is that first step you're going to grab any sorts of cardboard laying around, whatever, freestyle it. And what we're going to start with is doing the patterns. We're going to draw it out. Just like with the gauntlet, we're going to start drawing out piece by piece. Now, if I look here on the, I have an image I'm going by, the Drifter mask. It looks very similar to a cat. I've got that down. And it has like a V-shaped style of the face. So what we are going to want to do is that we're going to want to copy that style. So what I have here is I have a box right here. I always have boxes. Are you kidding me? So right here, it's a regular Lunchables box. Yeah. And we're going to turn this into the Drifter mask. So first step, what you're going to do, like I always like to do, I always like to do from the bottom But as you can see here, this box is different from the Staples box from the last live stream. As you can see, there's two separate pieces here. So what you're gonna wanna do first, instead of just going ahead and drawing like we did last time, we're gonna wanna actually cut it off. That way we can avoid any future mistakes as much as possible. So what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is that for the first step, with any box that you have, I'm gonna ask you guys to cut out both sides of the bottom right off. Alright? So, whoops. So just go ahead and do that. So after doing so, you have both pieces right here. And make sure, always remember, the ink is on the inside of your product. You never want it on the outside. Or when you're painting, it will stick through and it will not be a good time. Yes, that's an Undertale reference. But, so you're going to want to draw on the blank side. So you're going to grab the marker, pen, pencil, whatever you use. I like to use pen. And what you're going to do is that we're going to start with the basic face shape. It's basically the same style of jackals, but it's different because it's in the form of a cat type of face. So what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to take one of these sides and you're going to want to put it right to your face, and you're going to want to mark down right where the dot of your nose touches the cardboard. Because you're going to want down the mark, basically the middle of your face. So go ahead and do that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be estimate. So I'll show you where mine is. So I estimated where my nose is right here. That's where it touches. This is where the mask is going to fold out and form. All right. Let's see. Okay, so next we're going to fold this around our face. Not literally fold it around our face, but we're going to fold it. So, yeah. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to go ahead and round it off. So go ahead and do that. Make sure it's long ways. After doing that, now you have this. Alright? It's for the basic mask. You know, nothing too special. And now what you're going to want to do, now that you have your nose estimated, you're going to want to do that with your eyes, but you don't want to poke your eye. But you're just going to want to line up with your mark there, and then put dots where you think the middle of your eye is. Doesn't have to be exact, it's just an estimate because we're going to be cutting it out anyway and replacing it with the eye shape, like here on Jackals, and you'll see how that's done. So go ahead and estimate it. After doing so, now you have the basic face style there. You already are starting to, well, I can already start to see it for me, but you guys see what I mean. I did that. Oops. I meant to fold the other way. I didn't follow my rule about the ink. That's okay. I hope you guys did. I almost forgot about this ink on the, gotta put that on the inside, so I'm gonna fold it the other way really quick and get that out of the way. Whoops. Now I'm doing this at the top of my head like I did with the gauntlet, so there's no ordered script here, it's all raw information, so you know, you get the best, I guess, out of it. Anyway, so you still have your face mark, that's good. So there we go. So now we have that piece, which is basically the here, which we'll get to shaping it down. So now if I look at the image here, let's see. So it's like a V. So what you're gonna want to do is that take your pen and right at the bottom of the nose. So since that dot is at the middle of your nose, you're gonna want to go a little bit down, and you're gonna want to draw this humongous V. And I'll show you, alright? So, hold on. So you're going to want to go a little down, out. You want to match it up with your mouth. Alright. Basically draw the mask on here. But since it's going around your head, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, which is why I'm here to show you how to do it. To make it easier for you guys. You get to see me suffer. So go ahead and draw out the mask as best as you can on your paper here, as I started to. And I'll show you guys when I'm finished. That way, if you guys have any mistakes or so, or you can just wait until I'm finished, and then you guys can see what it's supposed to look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, measure it up to my face, and then I'll show you guys. Alright, so here, let me bring you back to my stream. So here what you're going to want to do As you can see, now it's just a rough sketch, but for the face of my shape, it's all depending on your guys' face shape, on how wide or skinny or, you know, whichever shape you're going to need. But this is basically what mine is like. And as you can see, you can already see, like, there's, like, the cat nose type of style, and then you got that V shape I was talking about. You're going to want to have, like, a cheek line going. Alright, now this part doesn't quite matter that much, but you're going to want it there. So, you know, we're gonna cut this out, because it's a mask. You know, it's not a helmet, so it's like a mask. You know, so this is how it's going to be created. It's going to be created like the same. So, and since we folded it here, it's going to be rounded. It's going to go around your face. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the outline. Okay, so after you cut it out, now you have a basic mask shape, which is what you want. That way you can work with it and work around it and such. Now, as you can see here, we're going to start with the cheekbones. So, as you can see, the cheekbones, so it tends to be out and then it goes down. Like, you can notice it's flat on the cheekbones against your face. And we're going to replicate that, and I'll show you just how to do it. So first, what you're going to do is that this is why you're going to want that outline there. Because what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to cut out, make sure it's in half when you cut this time, alright? Because you're going to want it as close as possible to being symmetrical. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to cut in and just follow the line that you drew, or where you think the cheekbone line is going to be, the cheekbone line, like this. And it's going to make like a V shape. Alright, if you can imagine a V on your shape, you know, bing and then bing. That's basically what we're going for here. And you're going to cut it right off. But once you reach the mouth, you're going to go straight down. You're not going to go at a point. You're going to go ahead and go straight down. Alright? As best as you can. Like so. Now we are left with this. As you can see, it's starting to form now. And now you have these. And what you're going to do with these, both of them, you're going to match them right up. So wherever you cut, or there, you just match it up, and all you're going to do here is that you're going to put it behind in a way. So I'll show you what I mean by that, because this mask goes out. I mean, that's exaggerated, but it's going to be slightly out and it's going to go down. Go ahead and So you're going to grab your glue. And all you're going to do is glue these pieces, but behind it. It gives it that effect. So. As you can see here. And as you can see here, it starts to go. And you're going to want to do that for both sides. So go ahead and do that. Now what you're going to do next while that dries is that we're going to work on the frontal head shape, the forehead. So if you stick with me here, I'll show you just how to do that. So first thing we're going to do, it might sound a little crazy, but we're just going to draw a bunch of rectangles. 4 to be exact. And I'll show you what size they have to be and such. So I'm going to draw them and I'll come up and show you. So. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry about this. Is not, I'll just mark it. This is not, we're not going to use this right here. Just these. Alright, just estimated because they're going to be going on your forehead. They're going to be going on your forehead, but they're going to be curved and connected. And you'll see just how that works. So you're going to want it to equally equal out the width of your forehead. But like right before your sides. Like you don't want it to be all the way out. You want it just your forehead because the sides are going to be connected and it's going to be different. You'll see. Alright, so go ahead and cut those out. bend it. So after you cut them out and rounded them off, folding them, and you'll see how this works. It's going to be connected in such a way it goes over your head. As you can see how it forms over your forehead. But anyway, I'm just trying to show you guys how it's going to look so that way you guys can see what's going on. But I'm trying to hold it up for you guys. But anyway, so this is what we're gonna do here. This is more like a. Let me look at the picture again. See, it's more flat than round. So we're gonna go more with a round up. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go ahead and straightly glue all these together, because then it's just going to be what it was before. You know, why make the rectangles? The reason why we did this is that because we're going to trim them in a way where they're going to become curved, so when you connect them, they form around your head. Right? So I'll show you how that part's done. So we're going to draw again. And what we're basically going to do is that we're going to draw a thin, very, very thin oval right in between of where we cut. So we're going to go ahead and match up the pieces. And we're just going to, and I'll bring it up to the camera to show you guys. We're just going to draw a very, very thin, all the way up to the tippy top. And I'll show you what I mean. So go ahead and attempt that if you'd like, or wait, up to you. Alright, so what we have here, the ink got in the way a little bit, but that's alright. As you can see, you match up the pieces, and it's got this long, thin oval here in the middle. And we're going to cut that right out. And so that way when we match it up and glue it together, it's going to fold over. And you'll see what I mean. So go ahead and cut it out. Wait, hold on a moment. Before you do that, Yes, go ahead and cut it out. Go ahead and cut that out. I'm just making sure things are going correctly. It's hard to imagine these pieces. Alright, go ahead and do that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So now what you're going to do now is that you're going to... So now we had it like this. Now this is going to play a different part words. Because now what we're going to do, now that we have the edges done, we don't really have to worry about that now. Now what we're going to do here is that all we're going to do is just trim off the corners and make it round. Alright, and I'll show you guys how that will look. So go ahead and give that an attempt if you like, or you can wait till I show. Now what you are left with is these long banana looking type shapes, or canoe. Whichever way you want to look at it, that's what we're looking for. Now here, it's going to go, so when you connect it, you see how it's going to form over now when we connect the edges here? It's going to form round. It's not going to show now because we have to connect them, but I'm trying to simulate the simulation for you guys here. But as you can see here, you can see how it curves out right there. And once it's all connected, it'll look natural. As you can see on the top of the jackal's head here, it's very curvy. Or, you know, it fits the head. So we're going to do the same process. So we're going to be using the scraps here. So pick up the scraps from... You were cutting out that oval, and you're just going to cut out some more braces like I explained in the last live stream. What you're going to do is that you're going to fold this in half and then cut it in half. Or, well, geez, there we go. And then you're going to cut this piece in half, because these braces are going to be pretty small. Pretty small. And then you're going to cut it long ways in half. And this should give you 4 bracers. Or supporters, or however you want to say it. You're going to need these. Because we're going to glue them together. Alright? So I'm going to go ahead and do that process I did with the gauntlet. And glue them together. And what you want to do is that you want to glue them... Oh, make sure the ink is on the inside. You're going to want to glue them in such a fashion here. Like so. You're going to want to glue them like so. Here, and then you're going to want to just, after that part is clamped, you're going to want to force these in like so. And as you can see how it forms, and then glue it at the edge. And then do a couple in the middle. Thus using all 4 of the supporters. So go ahead and do that, and as I do it, I'll come up and show you guys. That way you guys can be guided in the correct direction. So go ahead and do it. So here, I have connected the bracers on both edges. And as you can see how it starts to make that curvature for your head. There. And now we're going to do the same with here. In fact, we're just going to use one. We don't want to put too much. We want to overline it. So we're just going to use one more in the middle. Now while that dries, we're going to go ahead and start with these here. So for this process, it's going to be different since these are going to be the ending ones. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to match up with this. But since it's gluing, we don't want to take it off. Eesh. So we can use our one scrap here. Yep, so take your one scrap here. This can work. And all you're going to do here is that you're going to take your pen or pencil or whatever you are using, and you are going to just trace this starting from the edge. You're just going to trace that scrap, that round shape. If I'm correct. Hold on, guys, hold on. I don't want to do something wrong here. The head pieces are the hardest for me, so if you guys can understand, I just want to make sure. Don't wait. Wait a second. Okay. Yes, you're going to want to do that, but make sure it's flipped in this fashion. Let me show you up close. So when doing this, you want to be careful, but you want the edges to be there, and then basically what you want to do is that you just want to trace off the edges and then leave everything else. So you're going to want to trace there, there, and then cut it off. Alright? And then do it for both. Alright, so do that. Now you are left with these shapes, where the edges are cut off, which is what you're going to want because these are going to be attached to the edges. Alright? And it's not going to be in full length. We're going to fold it to match the image of your head. But since it's a mask, we're just going to, we're still going to fold it and then connect the sides, but then we're going to cut it. That way it's a mask. Alright? So, and I'll show you. Like I always do, I show you guys. And if you guys are having any trouble seeing anything or whatever, just let me know. But let's actually check the glue here. And all right, we're in the clear. Just be gentle. The middle part is still wet, so you're going to want to be careful. But we're going to do the same process. So cut out some more little connectors here, and we're just going to do the same process and connect these pieces to the top piece, just like so. That way it's going at an angle, all right? And then we'll do all the trimming and everything else that we need to do afterwards. So go ahead and do that. while that blue dries, we're going to go ahead and make the eyes. Haha, that rhymed. Ha, that rhymed again. Anyway. So we're going to go ahead and design the eyes. So grab whatever scrap piece you have laying around that you've already cut. You know, you should have a decent size for eyes. And I'll just draw out the drifter's eyes, you know, the best you can. And I'm gonna do it too, but I'll come up and show you guys what mine looks like in the result. So go ahead and do that. And only draw one, and you'll see what I mean. Just draw one. So after you've drawn it out, I've just showed you an example. So after drawing it out, you're going to cut it out. And now this eye is going to be different. With this eye, you're going to want to use your crafting knife because it's smaller detailed and it will be hard with the scissors. So use your crafting knife. You're going to you want to take your time, you want to be slow. You're just going to do the first outline. You're not going to worry about any inside. You're going to do the basic outline here. You're going to do the whole outline, cut that out. Then, after you do that, you're going to cut out the inside of the eye, which is where you're going to be able to see. After doing so on that part, then we're going to attach it, not attach it to the mask yet. Then we're going to use that to make the other eye. And you'll see, we're basically going to mirror it, and then we're going to attach them. Alright, that way both eyes are as symmetrical as possible. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. There we go. After doing so, now you have the basic outline of the eye. And now we're going to do the inside. Alright? Ignore the pupil. That was for just the drawing. That way it can be marked. We're going to cut that out anyway. You're going to cut out the whole inside of this shape. Alright? That way you'll be able to see. So go ahead and do that. Make sure to use your craft knife for the small details. There we go. And there you have it. Now you have an eye to see through. And trust me, you can see through this just fine. So, it might not look like you can, but you can. Trust me. But now we're going to take this and we're going to mirror it. That way we can cut out the other side. And then we'll attach it to the mask. And you'll see how it'll start. So go ahead and draw, or trace. Go ahead and trace your rough piece here. Mirror it to the other side, and then cut it out. Just like before. Alright, so after finishing now we have both eyes here. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust mine a little bit because mine broke off a little bit there, and I kind of cut in. If you guys, or if you want it to be more accurate, oops, my camera stand again. You guys can go ahead and redo the part. I'm not gonna redo it. All right, I'll fix it on my own time, but this video is mainly to show you guys how to do it. So here we go. We have our two eyepieces here, and we're going to go ahead and attach it to the mask. All right, so remember those marks that we did here for our eyes? We're going to center it right on there. And speaking for the contacts, because you notice that on the picture or in the game, he's got pink eyeballs or something. Those can be easily done by getting some contacts. But because you can't really cover it, otherwise you won't be able to see through it. But as you can see how it starts to form its shape. So we're going to go ahead and glue them right on. Make sure you center them where the pupil would be. That way you get in between where that nose is. And go ahead and do that. Every single time that happens too. Weird. Kind of eerie. It's kind of scary. Anyway. Check the chat. Got the picture and the chat going on in two separate tabs there. Anyway. This is good. By all standards, it looks pretty good, so. So we're going to put put that aside. We're gonna do the other side now, the headpiece. As you can see, you know, estimately, that's gonna go. But we're gonna fold it though. So now you can really start to see when we fold it. Now you'll be able to really start to see how that forms around your head. Like so. You see now how why that's important to have it like so, because it gives it that form around your head. So let's get right into it, and let's add the other side. Wherever I put that. Oh, here it is. So let's go ahead and connect the other side, and then we'll be set to attach this to the headpiece. So go ahead and do that. As you can see, we are making the skull version, the top headpiece of the Fortnite mask here. So, let's follow this example. I'm going to go ahead and clamp that down, or just get it to stay, and it'll dry. So moving back to the eyeballs here, we can safely say that it's good on there, pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the inner eyeball piece using our crafting knife once again. Just be careful when doing so. You don't want to cut your outline. Alright, so after doing that, now we are able to see through it. It's coming out pretty good, I think. But, so now we're going to continue on and take a look at our next step until that fully dries. The nose! The cat nose! You can't forget other than the cat nose. We're going to do that next. So for this part, what you're going to want to do is that you see here, the bottom of the mouth that I drew, there's this space in between. That's basically where the nose is going to be, and it's going to extrude out. So it's going to be flat, and then it's going to extrude out, and then it's going to go at a diagonal in back to the mouth, like a cat. So we're going to go ahead and replica that nose. And I'll show you how to do it. So now you're going to grab another piece. Let me grab this piece. And you go ahead and you're going to draw a rectangle about the size of your nose. So basically, you're going to take this and you're just going to trace your nose. Just like give an estimate of where your nose width is. Alright, so. Mine just happens to be right on the fold, which is kind of weird. But, so after you've done. Whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself here. After you've estimated the width of your nose on the cardboard, after you've marked it with a couple lines, you're going to go ahead and cut the whole carpet. Because remember, this is coming from basically almost the top of the forehead all the way down to the bottom of the mouth. So we're going to go ahead and cut the whole length. That way we get almost our full face. That way we can have plenty to work with. And there we have it. Now, I did make one bad mistake. I didn't cut it long ways. So now when I fold it, it's going to be a little off. But that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. But just remember to always cut long ways. But I didn't cut long ways. I cut horizontally. So now you can see how they're more uneven than even. But that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So go ahead and fold it. You're going to want it round anyway. And now, what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to take the piece and you're going to want to mark the bottom of your nose. For me, it just makes it easier to know where the safe area is right now. It doesn't really play that big of a part, but it just makes it easier, in my opinion, to know where the bottom of my nose is when working with nose pieces. You know, starting from here to here. So, yeah. That's going to be right at the top here. So, we're going to go ahead and cut right at the line that you drew where your nose, where the bottom of your nose is, not where your mouthpiece is, because it's a separate piece. That's going to go in. So we're just going to do here. And then we're going to trim it just a little bit. And then go ahead and flatten it as much as you can, if you can. If you can't, that's fine, but I like to flatten it to give it more character. So as you can see, the nose is going to start to form from the forehead, and it's going to go all the way down to here. And then it's going to go in. It's going to go in and connect with the mouth. So now what you're going to do, what I just did is that I folded it in half long ways. That way it gives it more 3D dimensional of a nose. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to glue it right at the top of where your eyes are. I'm going to glue it on like so. Now, noses are one of the most difficult pieces of most cosplays or anything that I do, for my opinion in general. So, this nose is quite difficult because it's not a human nose, it's a cat nose, so it's different. So I gotta try and make it look like a cat nose, if you understand where I'm coming from. But it'll work. So once everything's set and done, it'll work. All right. All right, for the time being, I'm going to end the stream here, but I will be streaming again today at a later time. I'm gonna go have a break. I'll come back and we'll continue. And so we're gonna let this dry, and then what we're gonna do next is that we're gonna connect the nose piece. I did redraw the mouth, adjust it. We're gonna connect the nose piece, and then after doing so, then we'll move on to doing the face designs and the ears. And then hopefully we'll finish up the head piece here. But for the time being, I'm gonna, excuse me. I lost my voice for a second. Oh my god. So I'm gonna end the stream here, and then we'll continue on later today, and I'll estimate after 3, but around 4, I'll run the stream up again, and we'll get some more done. Let me know what you guys think. If you like my content, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribe. So I thank you for being here, and Genghis Runner out. I clicked X.